I thought it might be interesting to interview some of my YouTuber friends about their personal journeys.
Oh, you can't ask me this. Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
Oh man, yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Wow, you did some digging.
I know it's a long video, but feel free to skip ahead to whatever you find most interesting, or just put it on in the background and listen to it like a podcast. Enjoy! This is my little home away from home.
You've got a lovely place.
Thank you. You're probably thinking, I should have done this, should have added a bit of texture there. This is where we'll be conducting the interview.
Oh, very formal. Wow, and there's nowhere I can escape, so perfect interview location.
Exactly. Come on in, my friend.
Ooh.
Grab a seat by the fire.
Captain Woof Woof. Nice to meet you, Captain Woof Woof.
So Josh, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
We first connected when you actually interviewed me on a live stream. Mm-hmm. We then worked together on Chunkblock. We talked about doing another project off the back of that, but it didn't really get off the ground. You were my successor, obviously, in UHCG. We did Chunkblock together. We had our April Fool's collab together, and I starred on Jeopardy as well in one of your videos. We worked together for the first time on Chunkblock, and you've also helped me out with my Snake project.
Yeah.
We've played the game together in my Chilby server. Mm-hmm. And you're also the only content creator that I've actually met in real life.
Oh.
You are my successor's successor in UHC Generations.
That's right.
You can kind of think of me as your boss's boss, if you like.
Okay. I'm gonna tell Moa you said that.
And of course, on the Chunkblock server, we played together.
Oh yeah.
Which was good fun, until you tried to burn me alive for no reason.
And I'll do it again.
What made you decide to become a content creator?
I've always been into digital media, video editing, video making, going way back. I'm talking like I was 6-7 years old into this sort of stuff. Obviously, I couldn't use a computer that well, but I was introduced to stop motion animation from my dad.
You know, I kind of started off with a camera my dad gave me, just making little stop animations with some clay I had.
Do you still have any of those like claymation videos that you'd be willing to share?
You know what? I may actually still have that.
But the thing that actually got me into like making videos itself was actually the pandemic. So, you know, 2020 rolls around. I, at the time, am kind of looking for stuff to do, so I find Mumbo Jumbo's Redstone videos on YouTube. And from that, I find out about Hermitcraft. And then, of course, that's where the addiction started. Yeah, the Hermitcraft addiction went crazy for a long time. It's still kind of going. I've weaned off of it a little bit now, but I am still a really big fan of the series. And as I was watching their videos, of course, you know, they're all very experienced, very polished video creators, but the egotistical side of me was like, you know what? I'm kind of decent at building at Minecraft. I can learn, I can get better. I know how to make videos. I bet I could do this sort of thing too. And around that time, I was kind of burning out of another big hobby of mine, which was competitive Smash Bros. I was really into that for a few years. Yep, I played Melee. And one day I just decided I'm going to stop playing Melee and I'm going to start making YouTube videos.
You've been crushing it ever since.
Well, thank you. I've learned a lot. My first videos were not good.
Oh boy. I guess in college, I consumed a lot of content on YouTube. That would be, I'm gonna date myself, but that would be back in 2010 and 11.
Okay.
And I was primarily consuming two types of content. One was StarCraft 2 professional matches. I was really into StarCraft 2 at the time. And the other was Minecraft, you know, specifically Etho, B-Dubs, Good, Boulder Fist, But I always wanted to. I always felt like I could do that. What really got me into making it was I started this adventure map when the pandemic hit and everyone was locked down. And, over time I built out these quests and these bosses, and I just did it all for fun. And I remember at one point, one of my friends was like, you need to show this to the world. I started by making tutorials and showing off bits of the map in tutorials so that people would watch my content. Because when you're a small creator, no one's going to find you. If you have something unique, you may not be seen. And so I had to kind of answer questions for people that they had. Like, how do you make a circle or a sphere in Minecraft using commands? And that video was the first video I ever put out. And that video did really well. I think it has maybe close to 60, 70,000 views now.
It's got 97,000 views.
Oh, wow. Crazy. That's my first video. Yeah, I mean, they didn't all pop off like that.
Oh, good question. Okay, so when I was growing up, I grew up with Hermitcraft. Season 3 of Hermitcraft, I very vividly remember watching. I looked up automatic chicken farm tutorial. I needed a chicken farm. Found Exumavoid's video and was like, oh, this is really good, and built it, and it worked. And then I was like, oh, he has a Let's Play Season 3, Episode 1 for Hermitcraft. Okay, let me watch this. And then I watched Exumavoid, and then I watched Mumbo and Slipgator, and who else was it? False Symmetry. Like, those are like the 4 that I really watched.
Yeah.
But then I watched them basically forever. And then a little bit later, I get into high school. I'm into Overwatch, and Overwatch League's happening. And I'm like, I want to be an Overwatch streamer. I want to go pro. So I started trying to stream. I was like, I got a new laptop. Let me try streaming. Couldn't stream Overwatch, the game. But also, I was like, content creating always seemed like something that was fun because it made people smile. And I love making people smile and making people's days better.
Yeah.
So that's like a way to do that. The other route I have as a career option with that is band director. Is it?
Ooh. I really should have just prepared for this to be the most obvious question you were going to ask, shouldn't I?
This is just the basics.
It's just, yeah. I think I'd always wanted to do it. I'd wanted to do it for a while, and I just kind of didn't have the confidence. Or I was just like, oh, no one's going to care. And then I actually don't even know, I'm not even sure I could tell you what made me be like, yeah, I'm just going to do it anyway. I just kind of decided that eventually. And I just thought I would give it a try. And then I really enjoyed it, and that was it.
And that moved on to a little bit of video editing. And then I discovered this beautiful site called YouTube and saw people were making Minecraft videos. And I was like, wait, you're telling me I can just make videos by playing games? So, of course, I tried it and didn't get far. But, as time went on, I realized people were making money. And I was like, wait, so this could be a career path. Had no idea how to do it. But I was like, doggone it, I'm going to try.
Who is your favorite hermit?
Oh God. Oh man, it's gone in phases. It's changed a lot, to be honest with you, but if we go with favorite as who's inspired me the most, it's probably Etho.
Oh, you can't ask me this because I don't have one answer. It kind of depends on my mood. If I need something silly, I'm watching Green or BOO. But if I'm watching, but I want something beautiful and cinematic, I'm watching BOO or Gem or Pearl. Or if I'm wanting if I'm just I want to be see good Minecraft and have it be explained to me, I watch Exuma. Exuma's been my OG forever. Whenever there's a new Hermitcraft season launch, Exuma's the first person I watch. Doesn't matter when his video goes up, I always watch him first.
Your first video was 7 quick tips for amazing Minecraft mega builds.
So that's the first public Minecraft video.
Oh, there's a secret video.
There are some secret videos, yes. So that video was my first ever long form video, so May 20th, 2021. At that point, I had already been making shorts for a bit over a month. In particular because I was not confident in talking in front of a camera, talking in real time. I was not able to had no confidence for unscripted gameplay, commentary, any of that stuff. So I wanted to make short scripted videos where all I had to do was read off of a text document. And that's a lot easier to do when you're making a 30-second video versus a 20-minute video.
Yeah.
And as you may or may not know about YouTube Shorts, they are very good for having big number get bigger quickly in terms of your YouTube analytics. You know, a lot of views, a lot of subscribers. What they don't do is they don't grow an audience. They don't generate a community of real people who actually want to watch your videos for you, not just, oh, this is in my feed, let me stare at it for 5 seconds.
Right.
So I've since went back and privated a lot of my old shorts, including the very, very early ones, which are all terrible. Yeah, I made a short every single day for about 3 or 4 months in 2021. Because they were so formulaic and they were so quick and easy to make that I would make like 3 or 4 in a day sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're totally welcome to say no to this, but do you think you could share one of those shorts that I could include in this video?
Oh man, yeah, let's do it. Why not? Yes. Let's do it. All right. Oh man, I don't like looking at it, but enjoy.
Welcome back to Minecraft Build Hacks. Lightning rods pair really well with all sorts of small decorative blocks. You can make a candle stand, a torch holder, place a pot on top, or even hang a lantern on them. They're also the same exact width as end rods, which means that you can make some really cool bars and poles. You could even make this thing. Pair up lightning rods with some chains and acacia trapdoors to create a suspended industrial copper pipe, or chain a bunch of them together with some copper blocks to create some really neat steampunk wiring. That's all for today. Subscribe for more build hacks.
I'm thinking back to UHCG, and that has such a dedicated following, and it's that kind of fan base and that enthusiasm that makes it probably one of the most special things that I've ever been a part of.
Oh yeah, we've got that core audience that is drawing the fan art. They're writing fan fiction, right? They are creating these amazing works, and that's another topic. But they're watching every video, they're watching every live stream, they're leaving comments, they are talking, engaging with us and with other fans in the community discords, and like that's so freaking cool, you know?
Definitely.
You can't get that by posting a short every day for 90 days.
You said before that Minecraft is the medium now, not the subject.
Yeah.
Do any examples come to mind of creators using Minecraft as a medium to tell interesting stories or show off interesting projects?
Okay, I'm gonna toot our horn a little bit, but UHCG was a huge inspiration for that message, because, like, you know, there are so many Minecraft stories out there. We've all seen what Minecraft looks like and what a Minecraft story looks like, but that doesn't mean you can only tell Minecraft stories in Minecraft. It is a world that is made how you make it, so you can tell whatever story you want. We've all seen the dragon get beat 1 billion times, so like, use it to tell a unique story, and that'll get people's attention. That's exactly what happened with UHCG. So UHCG is a wonderful example because we took the focus off of Minecraft and we took it onto the people that had played Minecraft, basically. We made the story about us rather than the game itself.
That's really interesting that you give UHCG as an example there, because you're right, like that was a great example of storytelling, and I think people are very invested in the story, but it was also very much, at least for me, about the Minecraft gameplay. You know, it was very vanilla, and I know we're all excited to see the dragon get defeated, just because I think the history of the world it all adds to it, and it makes that moment even more special somehow.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna sound like a jerk the way I'm gonna phrase this, but the viewership started really picking up once I got the world, and it was because I really stopped talking about gameplay and I focused so hard on the history of the world. I think that is what set my series apart, that got so much momentum for the series, for the world, is that I told UHCG's story versus telling the story of a Minecraft world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you definitely brought like a new perspective, and you focused on the history of the world, and people really enjoyed that. And I think it also helped that you had a lot more, or you have a lot more subscribers than any of us. So UHCG has this kind of snowball effect where it keeps passing on to bigger and bigger creators and gaining more and more followers.
Very true. Very, very true.
you and Avid have very similar subscriber counts. Do you ever feel competitive about this?
Yes and no. So we've talked about this a little bit. At least I've certainly noticed that we're kind of racing a little bit, which I think is quite funny. We've both now kind of been in the camp where it's like, I don't really care about maximum growth. I kind of just want to enjoy this community, which is the attitude we've taken towards SBK, which has been awesome. When we were doing more stuff together, like Chunklock and Haunted Castle and all that, he was definitely growing way faster than I. And I remember like we were noticing that he passed me one day. And then things swung around in my favor because UHC Generations got really big around the time that he was slowing down. And then I got a bunch of subs from, Josh and then later Lagundo, right? As I'm sure you did too.
Yeah.
And then that put me in the lead. So I've been in the lead ever since. But next time there's a new shift in what we're doing, we'll see how it shakes up the arms race here.
Yeah. It's funny because I just congratulated Leon the other day for passing me in count because like a few months prior, I passed him.
Yeah, you're like neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean, with UHCG, I don't stand a chance, Quilby. You guys are all blowing up.
If you had to wager on who's going to be the first to hit 100k?
Ooh. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. This is not even just like a me being nice thing. I genuinely think he's going to hit 100k first.
I would give it to Leon, I think. I think Leon has a broad appeal that is, I don't know, I enjoy every single one of Leon's videos. I would hope we hit it together. That would be my hope. But I would give it to Leon just so that in the case that he does get it right, I'm right. And if I'm wrong, then I'm pleasantly surprised that it was me.
Yeah, that's a win-win, I suppose.
Yeah.
Do you think of yourself as successful? And what do you think has led to your success so far?
Whew, that's a hard-hitting question. Geez, do I consider myself successful as a YouTuber? Leaning towards yes, but I would say a big part of that has come from the recent development of me being on Skyblock and having this sort of new community. I think if you had asked me the same question like 6 months ago, I would have probably leaned towards no.
Interesting.
Because I think being a part of a loyal community really changes your mindset towards like subscriber numbers and view counts and stuff. Like,
definitely.
If me from a year ago saw the amount of views I was getting for the amount of effort I put into each video and nothing else, me from a year ago would think I'm washed. I'm like burnt out. I'm struggling. But I look back on myself from a year ago and I'm like, I'm in so much of a better place as a creator than I was a year ago.
Yeah.
So I want to say yes. I am making sure, I'm trying my best to not become complacent. I do believe in always trying to learn something new. It's important to kind of keep learning new things, even if you do consider yourself to already have achieved some success.
I think I would say in the YouTube space, I am successful in that I have found a community. I didn't know that's what I was looking for when I started making content. I thought that my goal in making content was to have a supplemental income, and it would be nice to just prove out that I could create a successful small business. But I realized very quickly that I was lonely, and so I started to do these interviews with creators who I found who I really liked. It started with Trog and Devin, and I had so much fun with that. That's why I created the creator Discord, because of those interactions. But I guess long story short is I think success for me is measured in the friends. And I know that might sound really corny, but it actually has changed my life.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And now it's come full circle and I'm interviewing you.
I know.
I'd consider myself marginally successful. I mean, if you look at stats for YouTube, I am in I want to say I'm in the top 3% of channels just, but that's not to say that I'm like wildly successful. It's just that there's so many channels that, you know, people do a little bit on and realize how hard it can be to be a YouTuber and just don't make it too far. And then there's like who I was before I had any success. 10 years down the line, didn't get 1,000 subscribers. Where you're just trying really hard, but you just kind of slightly off in some key areas and it doesn't happen. So I would consider myself successful in that I have found some of the key areas to work on that makes it possible to grow. It doesn't guarantee growth. I look at YouTube a lot like counting cards. You know, you can do a lot of things that stack the odds in your favor, but the odds are never guaranteed.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. What advice would you give to someone who's trying to get into content creation?
Ooh, yeah, okay. Let's see. Most important thing, just do it. Just start making videos and don't stop. With the caveat that you are trying to make each video different or better than the last. You can go both ways in this. You can end up in the mindset of, oh no, my video is going to suck. It's going to take so long. Everybody's going to laugh at me, and therefore you never do it.
Yeah.
And that's swinging one way. You could swing the other way, which is better but still not great, which is I'm just going to start making videos every day and I'm never going to stop. And I'm just going to do this until I have 1 million subscribers or some big number or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you're obviously making more steps towards your goal than not making any videos at all. And in the process, you are learning things. However, if you don't take the time to reflect on what you're doing, not only from a how do I make these videos more successful in the algorithm standpoint, but also from a how do I make my videos better from an enjoyment, from a I'm learning new things standpoint. If you just make the same video day after day after day, which is what I did, I swung too far in that direction. I made basically the same short 100 times. If you just commit to just make videos, as long as you like doing it, don't stop, but make sure that each video is better or different than the last. I think that's the key.
I think that's very good advice, and I like that you said better or different, because sometimes it's fun just to go in a different direction to try something new, and it might not be better, but you'll have fun doing it.
Do what you love, because if you don't, you're eventually going to get burned out, and then you're going to stop making content. So, you know, try to find something that you're passionate about and make content because you love what you're doing and you're proud of what you've made, not because you are expecting a certain number of views or some kind of praise or fame. That's just going to lead to you feeling really bitter about content overall.
Don't go into it if you're in it for the money, because a lot of people think it's a good way to get rich quick. It's not.
Yeah.
You will spend years of your life doing something and might not make a single penny from it. Yeah. So if you're in it for the money, don't do it. Also, make sure you're having fun. It should be fun. Like if you're trying to make content and you love Minecraft and you love, let's say you love Rust, right? But you're like, Rust isn't getting views. I'm going to make Minecraft content instead. And you're not having fun. You're doing it wrong. Go back to Rust. Or vice versa. You know, go play the game that you enjoy. Or if it's not gaming content, do whatever makes you happy.
If you're only getting into it because you want to get views or you want to like get big or whatever, just don't even bother. Because you will die slowly from the negative feedback and the 10 out of 10s that YouTube gives you and all the little down arrows that it shows when it's not doing as well. Like you just can't do it unless it's something that you really are enjoying and want to be doing. And just have fun. And have fun with it and do what you want to do and don't like do what you think is the right thing to do or what you think is going to get views. Like, just do what you really enjoy, because that's what comes across in how people enjoy it and how your content is made. Yeah.
I feel like we might need to clarify for people who aren't creators that when we say 10 out of 10, that's not like a really good video. 10 out of 10 is like it ranked 10th out of your last 10 videos.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. When you get a 1 out of 10, you get all these little like fireworks and confetti and YouTube is like, oh my gosh, you're literally the best person ever. And then if it's a 10 out of 10, everything's grey and red and boo, this sucked.
When you are starting specifically, not necessarily long term, try things, but also try things that people are doing. Like, I know copying is like this big taboo thing, and we're like, oh, everybody's copying everybody else on YouTube. But they are copying for a reason. Like, it works. And while I think you should make original content, I think doing what other people are doing helps you learn so much faster why it works. Like, you learn how to follow trends, you learn what styles resonates with people, and then you can figure out how to put your own twist on it and get more original. There's too much push to be original for a lot of new creators, and when you don't really know what good content is, it's so easy to feel like because content is yours, it is good. And so to learn how to actually make your content good, you need to get a more broad understanding of what good content looks like. I mean, I could list a million different things that I think are tips, but I think that's one of the big ones, is just figure out not only what works, but why.
I want to talk a bit about Skyblock Kingdoms, because you actually came up with that, right?
Yeah, that's my baby.
And
right
that's
now.
that's just been this huge thing that so many creators have been enjoying, and I know the fans are really enjoying it. So I'm curious, like, how did you come up with that idea, and how has the outcome of that compared to your expectations going into it?
So, originally the idea kind of came from, I was sitting in class, actually.
Yeah.
And it was an entrepreneurship class. We were talking about ideas and whatnot, and I started thinking about the Empires SMP. And I was like, that's such a fun concept, right? Like, every person has their empire. But it's like, it's not a forced empire. Like, it's not like on those servers, if someone, like, I remember Lizzie had the monopoly over, gemstones and amethyst. But realistically, anyone else on the server could just go get that if they really needed it. It was an honor system. So I was like, how do you make that more forced? And I was like, well, something else I haven't seen is a Skyblock server. Well, what if everyone was on one island? And then it started going down the rabbit hole, and then eventually ended up with, okay, what if there were a bunch of kingdoms, or empires? Originally, it was going to be like Skyblock Empires was the original name kind of thing, but it was going to be like, what if everyone had their own empire with their own monopoly there? And then I had this mental image that appeared in my brain of people being literally able to build and burn bridges between their empires. So, like, Firetic isn't on the server, but, like, if two kingdoms were feuding, they could literally burn the bridge between them and, like, not have that connection. So, and that's kind of how it developed. It took over a year to properly create, though.
Were you planning that whole time, like, getting people together?
It was both. It was planning, getting people together and all that stuff, meeting people to bring in. Because originally it was going to be one person per island. And then I had more people than islands. And then someone suggested doing 2 people per island. And I thought that's honestly better because it allows for more collaboration.
Yeah, there were so many good ideas that went into that. Like, people being on these islands and then connecting together and having people paired up, people having different wood types. And wood in Skyblock is obviously a very precious building material.
Yeah.
But obviously, as the series went on, it kind of... my perception of it is that it evolved and this whole lore developed. Like, how much of that did you kind of plan up front, and how much of it was just natural evolution, I suppose?
So I went into the server originally having just finished off Twitch SMP, which was another SMP I only streamed. But that server had been doing a ton of lore, like tons of storytelling and lore and world building and stuff like that. And so I went into the server kind of with this idea of, I'm going to go into it with no lore and just kind of let whatever happens, happens. But of course, I shouldn't have done that because Avid joined. And Avid loves telling stories. And I should have taken the opportunity from the get-go to craft a story with him. But honestly, I'm glad the way things worked out the way they did, because what happened was Avid kind of started crafting this arc naturally on his own. Like, there wasn't any planning. Like, OSHA kind of just became a thing. And then there was planning, a little bit planning later after it was established. But like initially it was just kind of this impromptu thing, which is my favorite kind of storytelling, is when it's like things just develop out of necessity / like bits, So I think it's gone fantastic. And if I could do it all over again, the only thing I would change is I would have a character to play from the beginning rather than trying to like finagle my way in kind of thing. Because it's a little harder to like develop a character halfway through than it is to start with one. So
when Avid approached me for SBK, the series had already started. As you know, I was part of the End Kingdom with Josh. We were added about a month into the series. And this was not like a scripted, like, oh, we're going to have a new kingdom reveal. This was like, if we had said no, there would have just not been an End Kingdom and we would have just not been part of the series. Because we were asked after the series had already started. This was not some sort of plan. The approach that Avid was going with his content, where he was going in a totally different direction from his like Avid Adventures, very high effort, very long videos. He was making shorter, more gameplay focused, more interaction focused, using clips from live streams, just chatting with people, goofing around, not making every single episode like dozens of hours of grind and labor, And I was like, hey, that sounds really nice. I can do that. And then I can maybe still make other videos on the side if Skyblock Kingdoms just crashes and burns, which I was part of me was expecting it to, right? That's how it is. New SMPs pop up very often.
That's true.
And a lot of the time they just kind of fizzle out after a while. I'm eternally grateful that SBK is still going strong, but ultimately, anytime anyone approaches you with an SMP, you kind of have to have that in the back of your mind. It's like, is this going to last more than a month? It's the dream of the creator who wants what SBK is, which is a series with a core, very loyal, very passionate fan base, but isn't necessarily reaching the same peaks as we could if we were just making one-off videos.
That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
And this group is awesome. The audience, the creators, etc. And that, if I was more of a grinder, if I was more of a ambitious, bloodthirsty, I want to be the next Mr. Beast, then maybe I wouldn't want to be on SBK because it's not that. But I'm very glad it's not that, because I don't want to be part of that first crowd. I want to be part of SBK,
From an outside perspective, it looks like it's been really fun to work on, and you've got the kind of added dynamic of being able to work with so many other creators.
Yeah, that definitely makes a huge difference. So much of like what we do, we end up doing by ourselves. Like you're just recording by yourself and editing by yourself and planning by yourself. So being able to like do at least part of that with other people is really nice. Yeah.
You were working on a Complete the Monument map called Secrets of the East.
Oh my God.
What happened to this? And do you ever plan to finish it?
Wow, you did some digging. Oh, that project is really a large part of what is responsible for me coming back to Minecraft YouTube. I don't know if I'll ever finish it. I stopped working on that map because there was so little interest in it. It just wasn't getting anywhere. So I was like, okay, YouTube's the more important thing. But I started that project as a COVID project. I was just at home doing nothing. So I was like, I love CTM. I'm gonna really make a good CTM map. And I probably put 300-400 hours into that project. But I just saw how much work there was ahead to actually finish it and make it the level of quality I wanted. And decided maybe one day. So maybe one day I'll come back to it. But I do love it because there's some really accurate, like I spent a long time studying these landmarks in Asia to try to recreate them as accurately as possible in Minecraft.
It happens, man. We all have projects that are on the maybe one day pile. Your most popular videos are all from your Minecraft 1.20 survival series. Mm-hmm. What happened to this series, and do you ever plan to come back to it?
Ooh, I get a lot of comments about if there's going to be more for that series. I did think about it. I feel like it's maybe been a bit too long now, but I kind of just ran out of ideas for a bit, and then I think I was doing something else at the time. I guess, I just kind of try and follow what I'm like motivated to make, because this is just a hobby that I do in my free time. it's
Yeah.
kind of like I sort of run out of ideas, and so it's then really difficult to like force yourself to make content when you don't feel like inspired or something.
Yeah.
So I kind of took a break from it because of that, and then I guess just other things came up and I never kind of got back to it.
What's something you look for in aspiring content creators?
I look for people who who are not trying to replicate a formula. That's the first thing. I was in a spurt where I was finding creators, or they would be recommended to me. I was clicking on videos with 100 or less views on the homepage, just because I was like, hey, let's see what this smaller creator has to offer. And if I see something that's like, hey, this is a genuinely really amazing and special person, and you can get a sense of that pretty quickly when they're talking, how they're addressing things. If you get a sense of the person, and if you feel like there's kind of this heart in the content that a lot of creators, I think, who I don't fault them for this, it's a stylistic thing. They'll hit you with an intro that is overwhelming and you don't really know who they are, and they don't seem to welcome you to their video at all. So I think it's really more, do I feel that this is a very personal passion for the creator? And also, I guess, there needs to be some level of quality, I guess. Like, there can be really, really small creators who just need to get a little bit better. But I think it's, if a creator's been doing it for 1 to 2 years, that's somebody who I'd be like, okay, let's bring them into the Discord.
Is there a small creator you want to shout out whose content you're particularly enjoying right now?
Oh my gosh. I have to give a huge shout out to Poverty Bag. They are probably the greatest Minimator, or I don't know if they use Blender, but Minecraft animation action content creator I've ever found. They were on an SMP that was a massive inspiration for me. It was super underrated, called Redacted SMP.
Okay.
And the SMP was really just that. It was kind of like regular old Minecraft content, and then all of the sudden, everything would be wrong. Like, it would be just giving a normal let's play, normal, having a good time, and then out of nowhere, like, horror elements would creep in, and it was subtle and brilliant. And Poverty Bag took it a million steps further, animated these fight sequences that were so good. When I found his content, I immediately reached out and was like, I am a huge fanboy. Please come join the creator Discord.
What would you say are the biggest challenges of content creation?
It's not really something that is, it's not like a job or like a vocation that there is a qualification for. You really do just have to teach yourself everything, and you kind of have to be able to do a lot of different things, assuming that you like do your own editing, make your own thumbnails. There's such a broad range of skills there that you have to be good at all of them, or, at least good enough at all of them, which is actually something that I quite enjoy about it. But I would say, that's probably one of the challenges, is if you really like one part of it, but you don't like the other parts so much, you kind of can't get out of the fact that you have to do all of the parts. You have to like pre-plan ahead, like the amount of like time that I spend planning what even is going to go into an episode before I start making it, right? And and pacing, like, even if you're not doing kind of story-driven content like maybe Skyblock Kingdoms, even like a single-player episode, it's like, okay, so how am I going to pace the content? Like, what is going to happen in this episode, and how much time am I going to spend on each thing? And, there's so many things that go into it. I probably spend as much time planning as I do recording.
Wow. And then probably that time again editing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, easily.
Easily, yeah. Recently, you've transitioned into, or rather kind of augmented your content, let's say, with some lovely musical numbers. Do you want to just talk a bit about that? Kind of like, where did that come from, and how's it been received by the fans?
Yeah. I've been writing music for, maybe 15 or more years, and I've gone in spurts, but I have recently just felt inspired again, and so I was putting little jingles here and there in my videos just to kind of like test it out and see what people thought. Little 15-second stuff, and people liked it. So when the Skyblock Kingdoms series started up, I made a 1-minute jingle that I wanted to incorporate as part of the intro. I wanted my episodes to feel like a Saturday morning cartoon, so I wanted it to have like an intro. But I'll find my way through the void. So I wrote it, I showed it off on a stream, and this incredibly, amazingly talented person by the name Musithical reached out to me and said, "Hey, I downloaded a clip of your track, I remastered it, here's how it sounds," and it sounded amazing. Like, it was like actually sounded radio quality. And and I was like, "Muse, I will pay you any amount of money to do this for my music for me and help me, actually make my music sound, professional." And they were like, "You don't have to pay me a dime. I want to like partner with you. I want to make music with you." And so we made our first, but they were like, "But you need to make this a full song." And so Through the Void was the first song that I released maybe 4 or 5 months ago. And Musithical and I have been a duo since then. And so far we've done 10 songs together. Wow. And we're hoping to release an album in a couple months here. So wow. The fans have been, I mean, it's been overwhelming, to be honest. People are so supportive of the music and the lyrics. I make my lyrics very personal, of things that I've gone through or am going through, and it seems to really resonate with people. So they've been super supportive, and I always tell people, when you're making content, try to do something that only you can do. That's going to make your content unique. And so this is definitely the thing I feel that only I can do. And so I think that's why people really recognize it. So yeah, it's been it's been an awesome excuse to be as creative as possible.
If you had to choose between only Minecraft content or only musical content, what would you choose to make?
Oh, Quilby. If I had to choose, that's so tough. Because I will answer this question, but I'm also going to tell you why that's hard for me. Okay. I have ADHD, and for me, I need to be able to ping pong between hyperfixations. And so by having as many hyperfixations as possible, my brain becomes very happy because it can choose from a bucket of things that it can always work on. If I get burned out on content, I work on music. If I get burned out on music, I work on AdventureBot. If I, it's like there's so many ways for me to make my brain very happy. So I guess if I had to choose between music and Minecraft, this is going to be, I think it would be music, because I think I could reach the most people. And I think right now it's what I need the most. It's what I'm focusing on. So yeah, probably that.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Just before we go, I would like you to place an item of your choice into one of those item frames.
Ooh, okay. I like this. This is very cool. But you probably already might know exactly what I'm putting into this item frame. And there we go.
Oh, that's not what I expected, actually. I thought you'd place a chorus fruit.
Ah, okay. Well, you see, the chorus fruits, we don't quite get along these days. I'm trying to get off this stuff. But you see, melons are my friends.
You're looking much healthier now that you're off the chorus fruit.
Obviously.
Fantastic. A bell?
A bell.
Why a bell?
I made one joke on my very first stream on the Dominion SMP, and the bell has stuck with me ever since. Bell noises.
Jesus! Oh God!
This is difficult. This is basically like distill my entire personality into one Minecraft block, right?
Yeah, and you will be judged for what
Oh
you
gosh. It's got to be this.
I suspected it might be.
There we go.
There you go. How's that?
That is a block I've literally never used.
You never used the jigsaw block?
No.
Well, I have 2 wonderful tutorials about how to use it, so give it a check out. That's the key to every good structure, my friend.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for joining us today. And really appreciate your insight.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me. It was really fun.